STC is go.
GTC.
C's go.
MCL.
TO's go.
Safety Console.
Safety consoles go.
LPE.
LPE's go.
RTD.
RTD's go.
Houston Flight.
Houston Flight is go.
ROC.
Rock is go.
And CDR.
Crew is go.
Copy that. Thank you, Reed. And Launch Director NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
All right, NTD, I copy all. At this time, I'll perform my poll. Attention on the net. This is the launch director performing the final poll for launch. Verify no constraints and go for launch. EGS, Program Chief Engineer.
Artemis Chief Engineers are go.
Copy, thank you. EGS, Chief Safety Officer.
The Artemis CSOs are go.
Copy, thank you. Range weather.
Launch weather is go.
Thank you, LWO. And Artemis MMT Chair.
MMT's go.
Thank you, John. And Integrity Launch Director.
Good to hear your voice, Charlie. PLT.
Thank you, Charlie. This is Victor. We are going for our families.
MS1.
This is Christina. We are going for our teammates.
MS2. This is Jeremy. We are going for all humanity. All right, Charlie, your Artemis 2 crew is go for launch. Full send.
I copy that. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy. On this historic mission, you take with you the heart of this Artemis team, the daring spirit of the American people and our partners across the globe, and the hopes and dreams of a new generation. Good luck. Godspeed, Artemis 2. Let's go.
So, John, let's go.
We go. And
And
so very
NTD
shortly,
Launch Director.
we'll see that terminal count start to go down, 10 minutes.
You have a
So
go.
it'll progressively go down as 10 minutes. You would expect that. What do we need to watch for? Well, we need to see the crew access arm come away from the rocket. We'll see the astronauts inside lowering their visors. And then we'll get down to just a couple of minutes before, which is kind of crucial at that point. Because if they have to stop at any moment in that 10-minute count, they have the possibility to go back to 10 minutes and start again. If we get down to 33 seconds, this is the time to watch. If we get down to 33 seconds and somebody intervenes, we're over for the day. We can't recycle. So just watch that clock go down and hope nobody comes in and says, hold.
Okay, I wonder if we can show that clock that we were able to see, because it hasn't actually started yet, but the countdown about to start. You're with BBC News Live, and we are counting down to the launch of Artemis 2 on its moon mission launch. And within the last few moments, we have had a go for launch. I am joined by John Amos, our space expert. John, just recap what has happened in the last few moments.
So the controllers have held their polls. They have nothing on the board in front of them that says this rocket should not launch. The launch director has really polled everybody in the room, and they've said, all of them have said go. So they are now just fixing a launch time. I mentioned these closeouts. There are satellites moving overhead. They have to thread the needle. Okay, so they don't launch when they think a satellite might be coming over. So sometimes these closeouts, they last only for a few seconds. Sometimes the closeouts can last for 20 seconds. But they look at the sheet in front of them and they say, right, we'll pick that time. And when they pick that time, they set the time to reduce the clock from 10 minutes. So that's what we're waiting for just at the moment.
And we still haven't seen that T-10 start.
No.
So what will be going on now to make sure that can happen?
So they're all watching the monitors, right? Hoping, praying that there isn't some sensor now that will complain about another battery or whatever it is, and that they can get to the start of this terminal count, the 10 minutes, and that it can proceed. So it looks as though they're about to pick up the count.
Okay, let us listen in to Mission Control and the feed from NASA, who should be able to give us a little bit more information about when that clock may start. Okay, we're just bringing that feed in. Let me bring in the Deputy Executive Director of the Royal Astronomical Society, who's Dr. Robert Massey. Robert, we have the go for launch, but we haven't actually started that final countdown from 10 minutes. This is the crucial time, isn't it?
It really is. You know, I'm sitting here on bated breath. I can't imagine what it's like in Florida right now. You know, let's wait for this to happen.
Sorry guys about the shaky camera work, but I'm
Okay,
doing
let's have
best
a
I
listen because
can.
we do now have the feed from
Because
NASA.
we are watching history here.
Final work. And once
53 years since the last launch, and I was only 6 years old at the time, and that was back in 1972.
To go ahead and start the clock. The ground launch sequencer is an application software. It runs on top of the launch control system in the firing room. Acts like a conductor of an orchestra, executing hundreds of commands in precise order and timing. It's all autonomous.
NTD CCL 212, short purge initiation is verified. All right, copy that, and we're verifying our constraints. All right,
So,
we're clear from
crucially, John, the clock has started counting
moving.
during that. So we are now 9 minutes and 45 seconds. So can they still at any point now stop this, or what is this? What is the sequence of events now?
If they get down to before 6 minutes and stop, they can hold at that point for any length of time. If they go beyond that, then they have to come back to 10 minutes. If they go all the way down to 33 seconds and stop, they can't recycle. It's a scrub for the day. So we just want to see that clock continuing to go down. Very shortly, we'll see the big crew access arm on the launch tower move away from the rocket, because obviously that's got to be out of the way if the rocket's going to lift off. The astronauts now, if they haven't already, will be lowering their visors. They'll be just sort of looking at their monitors in front of them, hoping that there's going to be a nice clean countdown all the way to 10 minutes down to 0. The first thing you'll see is these sparklers underneath the rocket that will burn off any vented hydrogen that just happens to be in the area. They'll start up those main engines under the rocket one by one. It'll appear to you that they start simultaneously, but the computers start them up in sequence, and that will last for about 6 seconds, something like that. Then they will ignite the boosters, and once the boosters are ignited, we're going. We can't stop.
And just remind our listeners and viewers who are joining us on BBC News Live just how big this rocket is, and the fact that it has never actually gone up with astronauts attached in the Orion capsule.
That's the crucial point about today. This is the first crewed mission of the Artemis program. This is a fantastically big rocket. It's bigger than the Elizabeth Tower with Big Ben at the top. It produces 39 meganewtons of thrust at launch, which means nothing to you at all. But imagine 160 A320 Airbus jets all thundering down the runway together at full power. That is the meat behind this rocket. And in any minute now, we're going to see it lift off into the sky.
How risky is this moment?
It's always risky. Any rocket launch is risky. We're looking at the pictures now. We're starting to see the crew access arm move out of the way. When it lifts off, you see umbilical cords. They're going to have to pull away as well. It's all coordinated, orchestrated by the computers, and we're just hoping that some crazy sensor doesn't spoil the show.
Okay, let's have a listen in to NASA and the commentary from Mission Control, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will launch very, very shortly. Let's have a listen in.
Off the top of the rocket in case of an emergency, whether it's on the ground or in flight. This is critical safety hardware that protects the lives of the astronauts.
So again, NASA talking about
Starting
that
at T-minus 6
critical,
minutes, the
infrastructure.
GLS will start
T-minus
bringing
6
that and
minutes.
other
Again,
high
you were
energy
saying was the
systems
crucial
online.
bit, John.
Yeah.
Starting
I mean,
core stage
if we
pressurization.
going beyond 6 minutes, if we have a hold, we can hold at that point for a little while, but then we have to recycle. We have to go back to 10 minutes. We have to wait quite a while. Go deeper into the launch window and then come back. The real critical time is that 33 seconds because we can't recycle after that. We have to launch or not.
Okay, let's have a listen in.
All systems are go.
GLS is go for core stage tank pressurization.
That means the replenish valve for the liquid hydrogen tank has now closed, and that tank is beginning to pressurize to flight levels because that hydrogen is naturally boiling inside the tank. We'll get the liquid oxygen tank a little later in the count. Now the team is waiting for verification that, if needed, the Artemis II crew could use the launch abort system to pull Orion safely off the top of the rocket in an emergency. Let's listen in for that call.
GLS verifies last capability available.
And CDR, do you copy?
CDR copies, last available.
That's great news, and you heard the NTD verify that with the commander of the mission.
GLS is go for FTS arm.
Now work is being done to arm the flight termination system. This is so the range safety can send a flight termination command if the rocket flies too far off track. There's a brief built-in delay, so the launch abort system has time to pull the astronauts
GLS is
safely
go for
first.
LH2 high flow bleed check.
All right, the high flow bleed check. That's so the cryo team gets verification that the RS-25 engines, all four of them, are in the proper temperature range for launch.
So, John, we are listening to Mission Control. We are now on T-minus, coming up to 4 minutes. This really is those final crucial moments,
GLS
isn't it?
go for core stage APU start.
We're getting
Core
to
stage
the business
APU
end.
start. Those
They're
are
starting
auxiliary
the
power
auxiliary
units.
power units now because they're going to hand over control to the rocket. It's not going to be control from the ground at all. The rocket is going to be on its own. The computers are going to fly this rocket. They're going to initiate the big decisions. We've heard that they've armed the launch abort system, so that is available. You heard them say LAS available, and that means that the computers or Reed Wiseman in the capsule or indeed the launch director can pull that capsule off the top of the rocket. But each step they're going through now, we're getting closer and closer and closer, and everything is responding as it should.
Okay, let's listen back into NASA Mission Control.
GLS go for purge sequence 4.
Moving through the milestones. All is looking good. Coming up in just a few seconds, we're going to get that thrust vector control actuator test. This is a gimbling of the engines.
So what does that mean, John, in English?
They control the direction of the rocket by gimbling the main engines underneath, and so they're going to test that gimbling. We'll see the engines just move backwards and forwards, and that proves that they can navigate properly as they go uphill.
And of course, this is a crucial moment for the 4 astronauts inside the Orion capsule.
Yeah, they're riding though. They're riding a horse that is being controlled by the computers for now. So they just need to sit back, look at the monitors, and see that everything is fine.
We've seen those engines rumbling, as you said.
I mean, so we know that Reed Wiseman can initiate an abort if he wants to, and he'll be keeping his eye on all of the data. But at the moment, we're on.
I've just
we're
heard
going.
them say they're taking ground power away onto battery power.
Into battery power.
Okay, we are coming down to the last 2 minutes. So what we're going to do now is just listen in to NASA Mission Control for the final countdown to this mission to the moon. The Artemis II go for launch We all have our fingers crossed. In the next 2 minutes, it is going to launch into the air. Let us listen in now to NASA Mission Control here on BBC News Live.
GLS is go from core stage to internal power.
All right, there's the rocket's core stage, which houses 3 flight computers, is now on its own power. There's no more hold time because there's no more margin on these batteries. So we would have to recycle back to T-minus 10 to recharge if we had a hold.
One minute.
Right now, the rocket does not know what the T0 is, but coming up at
Go
T-minus
full frame
33
on it
seconds,
now.
control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer, or ALS. The rocket will count itself down, but honor any holds that could come from the ground. Now, shortly after liftoff, Houston will take control of the rocket, and my colleague Gary Jordan will take over commentary.
GLS go for ALS.
Great call out. The rocket is on its own. 4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket NASA has ever launched. Sound suppression water is flowing.
15.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the
Whoa,
moon.
go baby,
Humanity's
go.
next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis 2 mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high.
AMT high.
On time passing 30 seconds into the flight. Integrity passes the ultimate beacon. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the 4 main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour. Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
On, Ponce de Leon.
Stan, we have you loud and clear on Ponce de Leon.
Have you the same?
Communication signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis 2 mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour. Minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time, standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%, ahead of solid rocket booster separation, expected at the 2-minute 9-second mark. We see throttle down.
The Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage
Wow, look
RTS
at
ready.
that.
Copy all, Stan.
Integrity, SM priming complete.
SM priming complete.
2 minutes 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis 2 mission. Thrusters on Integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state, ahead of service module fairing separation. Into the flight. Integrity 49 miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange, now passing 5,000 miles per hour. Standing by for launch board system jettison.
Houston integrity, good last jettison, great view.
Copy jettison, Team Eco 8+02.
We see the same on board, Stan.
And Houston has you loud and clear on Tigris at the common line.
Outstanding, Stan. We have you the same.
3 minutes 50 seconds into the flight of Artemis 2, Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen cross the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison now working on internal checks to verify accuracy. Flight Dynamics Officer analyzed the time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds, time of MECO.
Integrity, GPS processing.
Outstanding, Stan. We see the same, and we have a beautiful moonrise. We're headed right at it.
Approaching 5 minutes into the flight, Commander Reed Wiseman confirms he has visuals of his destination. GPS guidance, navigation, and control software finishes internal checks and sends to navigation channels.
Integrity, 3 engine press.
3 engine press.
On time, now passing 5 minutes 20 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis 2 mission. At this point, 3 good main engines are all that's needed to carry Integrity to a nominal main engine cutoff target. Though at this time, we're seeing 4 good engines here in Mission Control Houston. Integrity, 75 miles in altitude, 330 miles downrange, approaching 10,000 miles per hour.
Integrity, looking good at 6 minutes.
Same on board, Stan.
Good trajectory and engine performance. Booster officer will soon report the shutdown plan to Flight Director Judd Friedling, expected at the 7-minute mark. Integrity, 78 miles in altitude, 460 miles downrange.
Integrity, expect nominal shutdown.
Integrity copies, nominal shutdown.
Six minutes 40 seconds of mission elapsed time. Shutdown plan is as expected. Again, the time of MECO was confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds into the flight. Seven minutes of mission elapsed time. Throttling down as we approach the abort once around option. Milestone at the 7-minute 30-second mark. Now 84 miles in altitude, 650 miles downrange, traveling more than 15,000 miles per hour.
Integrity, AOA open.
AOA open.
The window is now open for an abort once around option that would target splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Still following nominal ascent at this time. About 10 seconds remaining until the main engine cutoff of the Space Launch System core stage. Standing by for confirmation of MECO and core stage separation.
Integrity and nominal MECO, core stage separated. We see the same on board, Stan.
8 minutes 40 seconds into the flight, we have a nominal main engine cutoff heading in the right trajectory on the way to swing around the moon. Core stage has separated.
All right, quite a moment there. We were all just glued to the sky. Everyone had their phones in their hands, trying to take just the right picture, just the right selfie, just the right video as they witnessed something quite momentous. It was quite a moment for me as well, as I watched the clock go to zero, and then essentially the launch. You don't really feel it immediately.
Right, I think we're going to call it there, guys, because I was going to make a point of actually recording this, because it is a moment in history. It's been 53 years since the last moonshot, and I've just witnessed the second lot of moonshots. As they say, they're going to be using the lunar module. This mission, they're going to be orbiting round to the far side of the moon and back. There's a test flight, and then it will be splashdown in about 10 days. So, yeah, I think we're going to leave it at that. And, yeah. Anyway, in the meantime, get kit crazy, happy modelling, keep safe, and have a fantastic Easter. Speak to you soon, guys. Cheers.